If you're not hitting your gaps where I come from, you're not going to have a good time, and it goes the same here out at Northwood Black. This course is like no other, and it just kind of keeps your mind in a very small space, and it really helps you take it one shot at a time.
I think it's just the wooded courses. I prefer to play in the woods, and I like being out here in the woods. I said, is it okay if I keep playing, and am I going to injure it further if I keep playing? And they said, no, you shouldn't be able to. So it was like a weight lifted off my shoulders, because if it hurts a little bit, that's fine. Hopefully, won't do anything worse to it by playing. That's what working in the off season is for, is getting ready for the season, so it doesn't weigh you down after 3-round events or 4-round events. You know, I kind of wish we had 5 to 7-round worlds like they used to. That'd be a marathon.
I knew that it's going to be bad weather the upcoming day, so I wanted to start good on this course, and I think 8 birdies is what you want.
Hello and welcome back to round 2 front 9 coverage here in Peoria, Illinois for the 2024 PDGA Champions Cup presented by Bushnell. Got BigBarri commentary bringing you an action-packed round that is split into 2 days.
2 days?
Yeah, well, we had the first day where we had the rain delay that caused RTs to not go off until 7:20 with a cutoff at 7:40. So we got 20 minutes of action before we get into the rest of the round, but we'll get into that as we get there. Casey White with the hot round course record, round 1, coming out hot out the gates. Chris Dickerson, former champion of this event back when it was at the IDGC. He is playing well through 1 round. Very vocal about what he is dealing with his physical health. And Niklas, Anttila, one of my favorites this week to perform well here in Northwood Park. 8 birdies in round 1 is incredible. And Joel Freeman, backhand, forehand specialist. You have to be able to scramble well to get out of these problems that you're going to find while playing this course.
Hole 1, par 3, 455. You got 2 options, sidearm flex down the right-hand side or backhand late flip through this little staggered gap right here. Drift it right down the middle, try to give yourself a putt. There's out of bounds on the left-hand side. This is a dangerous hole. See a lot of double bogeys, single bogeys come out of this hole, but you also have a good chance to get a birdie to start off.
And it's going to be dark when we see the tee off. But first, let's take a look here at you, sir, Paul Ulibarri, going forehand out the outside gap with a nice line.
Yeah.
And this is all the way around the backside. Go in!
Yeah, a little short there, but luckily there's a little mud on that right-hand side, so it checks up real nice. And just like this is a good way to get your round started.
And you've actually birdied this hole in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
So doing well here on hole 1.
This is your lead card on the second day of competition. First off the tee box, in first place with a score of 7 under par, from Shirley, Massachusetts, Casey White.
Probably one of the smallest galleries you'll ever see because it's for 20 minutes of action, at least for this part of the round. That's a good looking line, Paul.
It is. He's just got to miss. Wow, he just goes right down the middle.
That's beautiful.
There ain't nothing to miss when you throw a good shot like that. What a beautiful drive.
From Gray, Tennessee, your 2022 tournament champion, Chris Dickerson.
Yeah, Chris.
One thing you're going to notice about this card is they attack the course from both sides. Great sidearms, great flip-up game, good putters.
Trying to borrow that line And that's a big kick left over the lattice. And it's going to be out of bounds early.
From Opio, Finland, Niklas Anttila.
Mentally, it's difficult to try to pump yourself up when you know you're just going to be throwing maybe 2 tee shots, and it's not easy. These guys have been sitting around all day just waiting for weather updates.
Yeah.
Huge storm.
Not a lot of information out there as far as the next day, too, at this point. Like, there's some whispers of coming back really early. That's what people are saying, but there's also whispers of maybe not coming back. So
beautiful.
Nobody really knows. These are great shots, though.
Rounding out the lead card from Greeley, Colorado, Joe Freeman.
It's actually eerie. This is a major championship, and there's 26 people here. But still, every shot is equally important throughout the entire event. And you have to keep in mind, if you miss a putt on the last hole to win, you go to a playoff or something like that, you could have made up those strokes. So every single shot's important. This one is just as important as the last hole, even if it feels weird. Chris does a good job getting up there. He'll have about 18 feet left for the bogey.
Tough little side hill stance here. Easy to pull it and let it early. That's, see what I mean? Like, it's always... The footing isn't great. It's muddy out here. Fairway shots on the par 4s aren't going to be fantastic even.
Yeah, if you're right down the middle, you could risk being in a mud patch and be in the worst spot you could possibly land. Joel, from distance, he'll have to take a bogey on hole 1. Somewhat surprised to not see him try a forehand from that lie. Niklas from range, that's going to be off left, and he knew it right out of his hand. Casey was going to be parked, but he hit that tree with speed. Opportunity to gain some strokes on the card, and he hits it.
It's a great putt right there. Throws it out to the right side, lets it drift right in, right on the stripe.
Always interested to see how players who have sat on and slept on a lead. Oh no, Niklas, 3 bogeys on their card and a birdie for Casey, just like that. And Chris still has work to do. And that gets over the rim, thank goodness.
Caught it on the good wobble.
But I'm always interested to see how a player who sleeps on a lead out of a major championship for the first time ever, and what do they bring to that first shot? Do they show nerves? Do they show poise? It's still very early in the tournament, but it still has a lot of pressure behind each shot.
Yeah, it's a new feeling for KC.
And not many birdies on hole 1, only 13 on the day. And with these guys playing hole 1, that means every single group in the MPO division has at least played 1 hole. As we do a flight over for hole 2, we first want to say the Patreon disc winner this week is Kate Morrison. Congratulations, you have won the disc with our guest Eagle McMahon. Even though it was an abbreviated practice round, we still got a disc coming your way. As we fly over the dogleg right par 4, hole 2, 580 feet, requires a straight shot, about 330 feet or so, and then sets you up for about a 250 approach if you throw a perfect tee shot. The place to miss off this tee is left, not right.
And I don't think this is going to get all the way to the corner, but he'll have some sort of tricky anhyzer if he wants it, or he could chip around the corner and give himself a fairly easy par.
The thing that's good about it is that it didn't go to the right.
Yes.
By it going just straight, this is even better with Chris's, but by it going just straight, he has something.
Yep. Niklas pulls this a little bit. He's got to dodge these guardians.
And he does.
Gets around them, and that's going to be a prime spot right there. Just the footing's going to be his issue.
That'll probably be in the 280 to 290 range is my guess. The way to get to 250 is like this. With the forehand, it gets a little skip. Yeah, just a little short of the corner, but it might be close enough to work with it.
It looks like Casey is going with a smart play. Try to flip something up around the corner and maybe give yourself a circle 2 look.
It's really easy to do what Casey's done here and just out-drive that fairway. You have to hug it so tight to the trees on the right side, and you risk hitting an early tree and potentially taking a bogey. He made the correct mistake.
Chris going with a force over Anheuser. Semi-stable putter.
Yeah.
Beats those
Can't
trees.
do any better than that.
Fantastic.
Challenge those trees is just kind of a coin flip on that right side, but Chris gets through them and is in bullseye. If you see to the left side of your screen, that's the 250 stake, so you can really tell that Niklas's drive was just really ideal. Gonna have a downhill putt though, and after 3 putting on hole 1, could be some nerves on that putt.
Yeah, it turns it over a little too much to the right side. Stand still.
Force over with a gator for Joel, and yeah, the sidearm drive was good enough. He's got a great approach. Short birdie coming.
You can see it starting to get dark right here.
It's getting dark quick, folks. I can't imagine they'll be playing a third hole, especially with the third hole being the par 5 coming up. So I'd imagine we'll see that hole being played at 6:45 a.m. on the following day. So Niklas.
This is on the early side. One thing to note where Casey was, you're going to see a lot of those.
If I just wait for the horn to go off?
Is there a horn?
Oh, is it not?
I don't know.
Gotcha. I was expecting a horn.
Okay, so the horn's coming at any moment. They said they're going to blow it at exactly 7:40, so the last thing Joel wants in the middle of his putt is the horn to go off. Oh, no kidding. Oh, my goodness. So that's it for today.
They will be able to finish out this hole.
That's
But
correct.
a
That was
quick
announced to the
side
players.
note, where Casey was, he had about 180 feet in probably. Those are going to be the ones you need to get up and down.
Oh,
Tricky little sidearm flex, but out here there's tiny little trees everywhere.
Yeah, this is the softer place on the course. So you can save pars on some of these early holes, but you're right, 180 feet on some of the later holes.
Woo, good round, guys.
Yeah.
Hey,
Good
playing.
Yep. Pleasure, guys. Been a pleasure.
Nothing like a 2-hole round of disc golf, but we're going to keep it going, and we're going to call it still round 2. So the light's going to be a little bit different. And Casey White with his 1 under through 2 still holds on to a 1-shot lead over Joey Buckets, who's 4 under in his round.
Hole 3, par 5, 947 feet. Left to right bender off the tee, land anywhere in the fairway, and then you got a pretty tricky shot around this corner. What's tricky about it is the distance. Getting it to break left hard enough to get into the valley so that you have a straight shot into this basket. You see a lot of hyzers get around there, sidearm rollers. This is a scrambling hole.
It really is.
Even if you're in the fairway, it feels like a scramble shot.
No
Well,
question.
guys, let's go. Quickest 2 minutes early. Yeah, you know.
And I like
1
that
minute,
Joel
2 minute.
stayed true to the jersey from the day before, as did Niklas and Chris. It's the magic of television. It's the same day, folks.
So this is early, and he'll be scrambling from that side. This looks like it's turning early. There's a lovely
that's a
little
kiss.
That'll be just fine. If you go earlier than that, it's a nice little bunker area on the right-hand side.
Casey trying to unravel this one. It's heading up to the left side, and a little kiss. All right.
Lovely way to start your day. 6:45 a.m.
It was both the latest tee time anyone's ever had and the next day the earliest. Back to back. Mind you, this also needs to be said here as we see Niklas's drive finishing off to the left side woods. in scramble position. When these guys finish this round today, they are going to go take a brief break and play another round here at Northwood Park, widely regarded as the most difficult course in the world. So this is the very beginning of what is to be an incredibly long day. Chris's forehand roller, 2 understable rolls left, and he's going to be in a tough spot.
There's that fairway slip. Looks like he might have got enough on it. He did. So that looks kind of like he outdrove the fairway.
Nope.
But it's pretty good.
Yep, that's a good spot to be. It's hard not to be there. Even if you throw it higher up the hill, a lot of times it will roll and trickle down there.
I like this play. Something slower with a lot of glide. If he misses that, though, he's in a really good spot. He'll have something from there, though.
And we'll see what Niklas has here from left side rough. Gets a little bit of the limbs on the way through, but man, that's a great scramble shot. And from that corner, there's a few early leaky gaps where a forehand turnover can perhaps be thrown to the green. And Chris is like going a completely different direction right now. He is trying to cut the corner. This is a risky shot.
I mean, he's going to be within 150 feet,
Yeah,
but it's going to be
progress.
very, very obstructed.
Progress can be abstract at times, folks.
Look at this shot.
Wow.
They don't make them that good.
It's a really hard backhand hyzer from that spot. Really nice shot for Joel. Now Niklas has the line.
Pulls it, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Pulls it right into bullseye.
gets away with it. What a shot.
That was cool.
Yeah, tough for us to explain how difficult these two shots were.
Just to force the hyzer through the gap. I mean, who knows if he's going for that gap? Who cares? Look at the spin on this thing. Just like, oh, that's so cool. Two fairly improbable birdies from that same spot. You don't see many people get up and down from there unless they do force the forehand anhyzer. Casey from a much better position, and he's got a putt just inside the circle. Oh, that's a fortunate land.
Right. He's got a little swing and everything. See what he does with it, though. High stall.
Just your normal 5.
Yeah.
Just a normal par.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I mean, you called it, it's a scramble hole. And that is exactly what Chris has made it.
All of them.
Nothing like scrambling eggs for a birdie.
I mean, Casey really didn't have to scramble, but he really got away with it off the tee. He was in the same boat.
He was heading to a bad place. Yeah, you're right.
Exactly.
But he made the most of it. As did Joel. He received a nice kick off the tee as well. So the day has started well for our league card here. 3 of the 4 players carding the birdie. We'll check in here with Ezra Robinson on the next hole, par 3. And that is very well thrown, making the gap as big as possible, just getting pin high, which is all you can really hope for on this hole, and delivering the beautiful early morning putt.
And that's to go 4 for 4.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, that's pretty good, isn't it?
Take a look here on the daunting hole 5. Robert Burridge off left side, skipping. There is out of bounds back there, but he doesn't quite go far enough. This can be a fun putt, especially if it goes in. Well done for Robert. He's 1 under for his round.
It's really not a bad way to play it. Hyzer to make sure you hit the gap a little better and then go down that left side. At least you're safe, right? And then you have a putt down the hill.
Casey with a 2-shot lead over Ezra.
What is the simplest way to improve your disc golf game? The answer, learn from the very best. Paul Ulibarri. Simon Lazat, Ezra Aderhold, and Holland Hanley. They're not just players, they are your elite coaches guiding you every step of the way. The Power Disc Golf Academy is the premier online disc golf academy with over 150 on-demand lessons that are specifically designed to improve your skills right now. So what are you waiting for? Join today at PowerDGA.com.
And taking a look here at the tight hole 4, par 3, 325 feet. This is the gap that a lot of players are going to try to hit with different shot shapes. Forehand and backhand are equally tough. Pick your poison, let it fire. Joel going to try to force, I believe, his gator. And this one is released a bit early. And there is actually out of bounds way right.
Yeah, he was heading towards that area too.
Mm-hmm. Hard to say if it would have made it all the way over there, but Casey's trying to drag one through the gap with a flippy fairway and doesn't hit anything, and he's got a putt from 38 feet.
Take that all day on hole 4. Saw Ezra with the flip-up play. This is leaking early, and that's tough.
This is what makes hole 4 tough. You see a lot of early tree kicks and then a lot of scrambles.
He's just got to beat a bunch of them, and he does.
This is, what is this? This is the 4th easiest hole, and it plays at nearly par.
Heavy on the turn.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
Very good. Joel just going to play a little low skipper. Oh,
wow. Getting away with it.
Yeah, gets another little kiss.
Okay. Even if he had hit that tree, it's still at the edge of the circle. Still would have had a look. Meanwhile, Casey, wide open. Sun on the basket. You should have focused on the sun on the chains.
For a nice little scramble save here.
Yeah, slightly left side, but Mach X receives those well.
It's a nice one, he starts off first 2 holes missing a few putts and then gets a complete reset.
Totally, yeah. You hate bringing that energy into the rest of the round.
Probably the best thing for Niklas.
We will not play another hole that averages under par for the field until hole 13, so. Hole 5 is really when the course starts to show you what it's all about.
Yeah, you mentioned on an earlier hole, pick your poison. I think hole 5 is poison. That's all it is.
It's a fun par 3 if there wasn't out of bounds.
If there wasn't a tournament.
And if it wasn't a tournament and, no one was looking at you throwing. Those are the conditions, I think. It's a beautiful shot. And when you execute it well, you feel like a superhero. But it is so hard to do so. Even if you throw a good shot and you hit that left side hill, oftentimes you see drives roll down in the OB creek. Just got to go as straight as you possibly can and commit to your shot.
Is this going to turn? No, this is going
towards where Robert was going with that left side. Oh, and the kick down the hill.
Okay, not bad.
The result is inbounds, so you're happy regardless.
Typical play on this one.
Yeah,
pulling it to the right side and hitting that tree.
And you'll need a friendly helper to try to get down there and scoop that back because it's a very slick slope to get down there to get your disc. Casey going hyzer flip. If this skips, it could be decent. Oh, it
look
skips
at
and
that.
flies. Oh, it's in bullseye. Come on, Casey. Yeah, we'll ring that. Let's turn that back. What the heck was that? That was incredible.
Hopefully from the catch cam, yes. Get on Anheuser.
Boing.
Oh, beauty.
Wow. Full S turn off the skip. How cool is that? And Niklas early tree, but that tree is okay to hit because it is right there over the inbounds area. So gives you an opportunity to scramble.
Needs to get down.
Oh man, that was
wow.
That was hanging out there dangerously wide. Joel from the drop zone. Giving it a chance.
Yeah, I like that. With the little wall back there, if you have the control, you can give it a little bit.
This would be a nice birdie hit for Chris. He's going to give it a little jump and off the front rim and out. And Casey's drive is still the closest thing to the basket. You hardly ever see him that close on this one. So it'll be a second bogey of the round for Joel, who is now even through 5. You would love to be 1 to 2 under at this stage.
Absolutely.
Again, we talked about this in round 1, but anything in the front 9 just feels like buffer birdies. That close to going in. Casey will increase his lead on not only the card, but the field, as he is a 3-shot lead, and he is 3 under for the round so far with a missed putt on the prior hole. So he is playing some incredible golf. Wow. And you know, it's interesting. He went to sleep with the lead going into round 2, and then he went to sleep again with the lead because he only played 2 holes the night before. So anyways, hole 6, par 4, 732 feet. You got to get up to the corner to the right. Big turnover, backhand, or a really big forehand gets you to a spot where you're about 370 feet away still. So incredibly challenging hole.
This is going to leak. He's going to need one of those kicks that he's been getting. Doesn't get it, though. This is going to be a scramble hole for him. He really likes to throw that disc on a lot of hyzer in the woods. And when you're going uphill, you got to have a super understable disc.
Oh, Chris getting the wildest double kick into an actual decent spot. Like, I don't think he knows that that's good, but it's very serviceable from that spot.
Like, look how understable this thing is.
Niklas, that disc. Him and that disc, man. It's the same one he's been throwing for years. He does some magical things with that.
If you have the power, I think this is the play. But he pulls it off of the line, and he's going to be scrambling as well.
Those players who have big hyzer distance love throwing the forehand on 6.
So now he's going to have a bunch of little tiny gaps. And look at another little kiss.
Are you kidding me? That is so far down the fairway after just the tiniest little redirection. Northwood's not normally this kind. This is a very kind version of her right now. Okay. Yeah.
Still not that bad.
It's not that bad.
But you can see from where Niklas was, he was in the very middle of the fairway, way back, and it takes a 9 out of 10 tee shot and a 9 out of 10 second shot to get the birdie here.
Chris is just going to go through everything, get all the distance to the green. Is he long in 2? That's over 430 feet of pure, clean execution for Chris. That's incredible.
I mean, you called it. him getting through on that right side gave him a chance.
He just, that little quick kick that he got put him right back on track. And Casey, all he can do is just throw a hyzer skip shot, and he still has work to do. I like the play.
Yep. Go down on that left side. Gonna have to earn it, though. That's a tricky putt from there. Straddle around the tree.
The hardest way to access the green here is the straight. The left side is a lot more open. Joel doesn't quite have that option. He has to go at it, and it's the little cage.
Yeah, a little kiss. Don't get excited. It was never going in, guys.
It's just not even possible. At its highest jump, that's still hitting cage. Niklas will walk away with par. This would be an awesome birdie. An awesome birdie it is.
Right over the rim.
Not many players in the field are going to take more players are going to take bogey from where Chris was than birdie.
Absolutely.
And a good scramble for Casey. Stays bogey free. I think Chris got a little fortunate through some of the high ceiling stuff. But
yeah,
still, I mean,
that's what you got to do in the woods.
You got to commit, and you got to just cross your fingers sometimes and hope.
And it's like there's not gaps. You're going to aim at a gap, of course, to try to pure it. But if you pull it, most of the time you got to get a little love because you're not going to be exact, especially on a course like this with bad footing. When I walk up to a shot, I'm looking for the target. I'm looking at obstacles around the target, specific landing zones. Confidence is everything, and the Edge Disc Golf Rangefinder gives me exactly that. Hole 7, par 4, 552 feet. You see that fence on the left? You're going to see a lot of people try to hyzer it into that fence, just a little bit short of the gap by the tee pad. This is as straight as a string. You can play the aggressive play down the middle as far as you can, and that'll give you the easy birdie if you pure it. But a lot of people are just trying to lay it up to that tee pad back there, have 300 or under in, and sometimes even a little more, 330, 350.
If you are 2 or 3 feet off the fairway, you're not getting a birdie. Like, you have to keep it in the confines of this fairway if you want a second shot down to the pin.
This is great.
Yeah, Casey, low but high speed, just a little ground play, keeping it in check in the middle. And Niklas just dragging that down the middle. Oh, it's a thing of beaut. Oh.
And he's on the right side. He's going to be able to throw his tactic, I think, that very overstable putter that he had. Or is that a mid-range?
It's
utility disc.
Utility. Yeah, it's a low-speed disc.
Yeah,
he uses it as a mid-range, but it is a low-speed putter.
So there is a leaning tree up there by the basket. And you would love to get past that one.
Yes.
Once you beat that one, you're good. There's another leaning one on the left side. So it really keeps you honest with your shot shaping. Can't be drifting left or right. It's got to be dead straight. Look at this shot from Casey.
Casey's about to get 4 under for the round. This is incredible. He slept on the same lead 2 nights in a row. And he's come out here with his game face on.
Joel with a great shot.
Very well played. Slightly downhill. You can't really see that on camera. And there's actually a little slope behind the basket about 25 feet, 30 feet deep.
Niklas isn't going to be happy with that, but he'll make do most likely from there. A little too heavy on the anhyzer. Chris with a little scramble job.
And Niklas to clean up the birdie, and he does.
That'll get him to 1 under. At least he's packing one of those buffer birdies.
Oh, yeah. I mean, anything under par, it's just, there's so much, just, you're just trying to save everything you've got on the back nine. It just feels like you're just being attacked on every hole. It's like you're the one playing, but why am I being attacked?
Mm-hmm.
But that's how it feels. Nothing safe.
Yeah, there's no course like it that we play on tour right now where every shot is so difficult that you're just trying to hang on, that par's okay. Birdies are amazing. And it is a course to where if you're throwing dead straight accurately, you can get through. Be five under on the front nine. It's
Also,
totally doable.
If you are throwing straight and accurate, you could also be 1 or 2 over.
For sure.
Both are likely. They're both possible and likely. Ezra Robinson's 5 under through 8 holes, so keep an eye on that as he's moving up the leaderboard. He's just a couple back of our leader, Casey White, as we take a look here at the 8th hole. 400 feet, low ceiling. There is a roller option. There's a dead straight option with just something that flips up a tiny bit. Anything you're throwing, you're just trying to crash into these rocks and leave yourself a putt.
Not a lot of holes out here where you have all kinds of options.
Look at that. Just breaks it inside the tree, and it's inside C2. Green and regulation is not paid off more on any course on tour. And that's just
Needs to come back, Jerm.
heading out to that right side.
Not a lot over there. Almost nothing. Unless you do like some weird air bounce or high flopper. This is the most wide open part of the fairway on the left-hand side.
It takes a good bit of power to get to the circle's edge. Even a little bit of flip up sometimes, but Joel throws a nice one. He's going to be at circle's edge.
Looks like Chris might be aiming this left side gap where Joel just went. Yep. And he's just trying to get this to flip in time. Gets it.
I like it.
This will be...
I like it a lot. Oh, stop rolling away.
Yep, circle's edge.
Oh man, I thought it might have hit the rocks on the front edge. That was close to hitting the rocks. Oh, great effort from Casey. That would have been 5 under. Hard to imagine being 5 under just on the front 8 alone. Especially when you've already got the lead. Just padding the lead right now.
What's this hole averaging? As we see Joel give it to him.
Right now it's averaging 2 for Joel and 3.06 for everyone else.
So one of the easier holes in the course.
Yeah. A must get, you might say. Chris, that just strangely came out of his hand with a ton of nose up. Now, there is more wind on this course than you'd like to ever have. You've got enough to deal with. You don't need any wind. But the pressure in the atmosphere, it's moving, it's swirling, and at times it's actually gusty. So I don't know if that affected Chris's putt or not, but didn't seem to bother Joel at the moment that he released his nice 35-footer. Ezra's now 6 under through 9. What a front for Ezra Robinson.
Scorcher. Absolute scorcher.
Yeah.
Hole 9, par 4, 723. Kind of a nice fairway here after coming from the woods. You just have out of bounds on the left and right, and it's a low ceiling the whole way. It's really a perfect fairway for an aggressive, full turnover fast driver if you want to do it. But you also have the option to go mid-range or fairway driver just right down the middle. Leave yourself about 400 into the green. Out of bounds is on the right and left the whole way. This needs to get to the earth.
Does it get back in time? It does not. That was really close. But that's the shot shape the hole is begging for. Casey does a similar shot shape, just a little bit lower, more hyzer flip.
Yeah, he's been loving that angle off the tee. I'd stick with it.
Totally. Don't change a thing, young fella.
Nope, inbounds is fantastic.
This is just like Niklas's dream shot shape. He would throw that shot the same exact way with his eyes closed. I'm convinced of it. This is heading towards Joel's, and now it's in the fairway. That was a great break for Chris. Actually, right next to Casey's drive.
All right, this is going to have to be very understable. Flips it up nice, right to left, or left to right win, holding him straight, and that.
Casey's out here doing work, guys. This is great. Birdieing every other hole on the front nine so far.
Little high. I mean, it's going to have a little action. Yeah, 60-footer.
Joel confirming the bad news. Not exactly sure where he crossed out of bounds, so he'll just play it there.
I think he's just trying to take it back on the line, maybe give himself a better angle in.
Forces the Anheuser. This is going to get there. Needs to slow down, perhaps. Oh, great shot.
Have that to save the par. See those banners on the right-hand side blowing from left to right. It's actually a helping wind for this green. Pushing the disc straight, easier to commit.
Very well thrown for Niklas. Chris doesn't give it that great of a bid, but a par, like we said a million times before, is good on any hole, and it's no different here on hole 9. Good par save. There it is, the accordion front 9, a birdie on every other hole that puts you at 5 under. Shooting 7 under yesterday and just showing no signs of slowing down. Well, technically 2 days ago now at this point. Well, that's going to conclude the front 9 here. Round 2, front 9 in the books. Casey White with a 3-shot lead over Ezra Robinson, and Chris Dickerson still hanging on there. 2 under on the front 9 is a good score. Niklas Anttila also 2 under. Joey Buckets, he is 4 under through 10, making a way up the leaderboard a little bit. But we've got another 9 here for round 2, and then we're going to bring you round 3 right after that. It's been a very long day for us, so let's go ahead and get right into it, Paul.